There's like this chain of consequence that I have to go through in order to get more matches or more tobacco. And it's just too much reality because I'm trying to talk about something else, okay? This is like important. It's too important. Oh, I have a match. Okay. What do you know? What do you know? I got a match. Let's hope this works. Remember that scene in like, what's it? Oh no, I'm talking to myself. Okay. Somebody else out there is listening. Okay, somebody else is watching. I'm talking to you, and I'm sorry if I'm not, if I'm not formal. I should be more formal. I'm apologizing for that, right? But like, I don't know if I can do this. Anyway, no, this is like, you remember the scene in Fifth Element? Does it even matter? Like, we're questioning whether Fifth Element is real, or if anything is real, or should we do that? Let's do it. I don't know. Somebody else already did it. Oh, okay. well then it doesn't matter. The question is, what is limbo? And how do you get there? Okay, so let's just go over everything we know about limbo. The way to limbo is a one-way door. And that is a warning that if you want to go somewhere and then only test it out and then return because you're not interested in it, don't take the door, okay? The door is one way. It's your time going into it, right? It's your time, and I can't tell you what to do with your time. Your time. I'm talking to myself again. What I do is I talk to myself and then I try and refine how I'm expressing myself, but it distracts me from actually talking to somebody else, which is what I'm supposed to be doing, right? On my own, with a phone, formally. Hello. But then, well, how do I talk? Like, oh, hello. No, yeah, I just have to literally just pretend like I'm talking to somebody else. Maybe I have to pretend like I'm talking to like a really, really good friend, but like as a innocent scholar who never judged a single soul in his life, But anyway, look, which is impossible because how can I express anything real pretending like I'm talking to some kind of god or something who above all sin and all of that? But like, god damn it, this isn't relevant. The relevant thing here is that I'm saying something, but then what are you getting out of it as well? Like, I mean, am I attracted to my own image so much that my own expression gets sort of funneled into a reflection of myself, which distracts me from the communication thing, which I'm supposed to be doing, looking at this little... Fuck! The thing went bad. Okay. Well, let's just go back to Limbo. Limbo, you've only got 3 minutes, man. Limbo is the thing that you can't return from because you don't have the door out, okay? But you don't need a door out of Limbo. It's like your time went in there and it's like you're still there when you're going anywhere else, basically. Isn't that it? No, that's not it. That's what you think it is, but it's not it. There's more to it. God damn it. Wait a second, I'm going to buy some smokes. Buy some smokes in the garage. You see, I wish I didn't have to do any of this other stuff, but that's what I have to do because I'm a one-man show. So I have to just set myself up again with smokes. Yeah, with smokes, because for some reason that's part of the act. It's part of the expression. It's like I have a cigarette here. How did I find a cigarette? I mean, how did I find the match? Well, it's like because there's this I get some leeway here because I'm a bit drunk and I admit that, but like I don't know, maybe there's a match lying around somewhere, but it's like, what the fuck? Who cares whether I put the effort into preparing myself with matches or cigarettes or any of this stuff? How distracting could this possibly not be in the conquest of the unknown that is Limbo, which is so important? Like, it might as well be really important. In fact, I'm going to write a thesis on Limbo because it's fascinating. I mean, the idea of a one-way door to a place whose exit is unknown, yet it's not a risk, because Limbo is a safe place too. Except in that game, Limbo, you can die, but you come back, so you don't really die. But it's not about that. But maybe it is. Maybe it's all about that. Maybe that's exactly what it's about. Not dying. But then, if that's the case, it doesn't, like, you know, maybe it's just about thinking about existence without the beginning and the end, right? That's like Limbo. It's the eternal reality pared down to the parts of it that are eternal, you know, subjectively, so that you can do whatever you do. But whatever you do is part of Limbo as well. Like, you know, it's not like you did it fully. You know, it's like, no, the way to go to this is using all of the knowledge that you have from popular culture. Use everything you know. It's like a huge thing. It's a big project actually talking about Limbo. It's like, it could even be a media project talking about Limbo, you know? Like, although people probably do this without even referring to it by name. They probably talk about, and if it's already done, maybe I won't bother. Yeah, maybe I won't bother because it's already done. But the better thing is I'll get some smokes and I'll try and say something. Will I? Or maybe I won't, because it's like, maybe it's better that I keep talking, man, keep talking. We almost got him. We almost got his location. Keep him on the line. Okay, I'll. Oh, for fuck's sake, though. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning already, so it's like, this isn't Limbo. I mean, the exit is the stop button and the start is the entrance. And it could not be Limbo, because fucking talking about Limbo so much. And then there's this notion that what I'm saying is not thinking, and then the thinking isn't me. It's the mind, and the mind isn't singular. It's like encompasses other beings. And because I'm, you know, referring to it as a body, and it could be a threat to it, to some sort of generalized peace or well of peace, whatever. But then it could be all in my head. It could just be self-created, this thing, for whatever good reasons. But the Limbo is just this big conversation starter. It's this big distraction that I'm using as a buffer to keep talking. But then that's only because I'm judging myself. I'm saying that because I'm judging myself, so that I can put a finger on myself, so that I don't create a big thing about me in the box that I can't control. That is hard, because it's hard not to be able to control your own image, right? I mean, obviously, like, so much of what I do is just being tentative with how I project myself for other people who I don't know, and I fail to respect every time, because I'm not used to respecting them all the time, because it seems impractical to respect other people with force, with the force of speech, without connection. And the connection is the video. So it's like, have to not do that, whatever it is, because I have to keep asking questions. I have to keep judging my evaluations of the situation here. This is just a video, it's a video, whoop-de-doo. What I'm trying to talk about is Limbo, and it's more interesting. You know, we don't know what Limbo is, but there are stories about it, and that's important. And you know, it's like a waiting room, but there is a point to the fact that it's one way. It's like a waiting room, but it fails to be a waiting room unless there is a progression. It's like, because otherwise you're just going there and then you're going back out the same way you came in, you know? It's like, it's not that. Like limbo could be like a waiting room, but you accomplish some task and then you leave different. The key to limbo is that you change in limbo, and that's how you leave. If you're trying to leave, but you're not in limbo to leave, you're in limbo to accomplish some mission or task. But to say limbo has a purpose seems to go against one of the fundamental definitions of it. It's like, it's not that limbo has a purpose. It's that you have to find your purpose when you're there. But you already have purpose going into it. But you don't even necessarily know you don't necessarily know you're going into limbo when you're going into it. Actually, a door that's only one way, maybe you just ignore that there's another way. But all doors are like that. All doors are one way. You go through a door one way. You don't go through a door both ways. You go one way at a time. So, in a sense, all rooms are limbo because there is always one way through a door. But it's not that simple, because there's something special about limbo, which is that it is a one-way door that you take into it. And it's different to heaven and hell. If you can imagine a door to heaven or a door to hell, which for some reason seems to be a way of talking about heaven and hell, probably because it makes things simple enough to encapsulate into speech. But of course, that's what art and common sense has done, which is to say that it's a different place, isn't it? I mean, this is reality, and then heaven and hell are different to reality. They're not here, it's not automatic that everywhere is heaven or everywhere is hell. And if somewhere is heaven or hell, then there must be like a dividing line between it, right? So the idea is that heaven and hell is to do with a place, right? Because if it isn't, then it's to do with a person. And if it's a person, it's still a place. Place is the person. But at the same time, there is a one-way door to a person, right? I mean, you can be observing a person, and in that sense, the one way is from that person to you. That's the one way. And then you could also be communicating to a person, in which case the door is from you to them. But that's only putting people as places, which is a fairly degenerate way of talking about places, and it's not my business. Places are objective things, and more than one person can form more than one point of view on places. So we don't know enough about places to not listen to each other about our opinions of places. So maybe that's what gives me confidence to talk about limbo. But in any case, limbo is a place where you go to, for some reason, wait. But why would that be the case? Because if you're forced to do something in limbo, then it could become hell, right? And if it's heaven, you're probably not forced to do something, but what you think or what you decide causes things to happen. So that's heaven, right? And then limbo is where you're waiting, and you know that your thoughts don't necessarily cause anything to happen, but you also know that you don't have necessarily anything to do. You don't know what to do. That's the thing, because you're waiting. It's like a waiting room where you're waiting for a doctor, or you're waiting for a priest or a teacher or something in the next room. You're waiting for something intelligent or not, whatever it is you're waiting for. You don't control everything, so you don't go further in the sort of action phase of reality. You go merely to wait. And there is a promise that, and there might not be a promise, in fact. That's probably what limbo is, really, is that there is no necessarily a promise. There isn't necessarily a promise that something will happen. But you can wait. And the thing is, it's like the waiting changes you, or something's bound to change while you're waiting, but you don't know it. You don't know what's changing while you're waiting. That's what limbo's like. You don't know what's changing. You believe something is changing, but if you wait so long with nothing happening, you don't need that belief. The belief seems separate from whether or not anything is happening. It's like you can wait there. And when I say you can wait, when you say somebody can live, somebody can die, but these expressions seem strange. Like, I wouldn't think anyone can die in the sense that it's a thing that somebody does, because it's not the person that does it, but it's the reality around them that does it. It's like some kind of inhuman fact of nature that eats away at a person's being that does it. It's not the person himself that does it. The person himself is life. Although you could argue that the case that a person is beyond that, the person's spirit or soul or something beyond life, and in that case you're wondering, I'm wondering, whatever, me, you, you're wondering if the person, if I just chose to dismiss the part of a person that is detached from life in contemplation of the actions that are the most fundamentally expressed as life and death, but also waiting being the absence nearly of either. The infinitesimally stretched moments in between things happening that constitute existence, being the sole content of limbo, which seems to go on forever. But that's just because it doesn't make sense to put a time limit on, because you're waiting, you're waiting. You're not waiting for a time. You're waiting for something else, right? Because time would be the exit then in that case, right? Because the exit from limbo doesn't exist. It's what you're waiting for. You're waiting for something, and it's not necessarily an exit. You're waiting for something or not, but in any case, the waiting is what you do in limbo. And your stories about limbo are manifold. There are so many stories. Like, it's this like, what stories could there be about waiting? Well, that's I guess it's a skill, or I guess it's dread, but whatever it is, it's generalized by the shared experience of being in a place like that objectively is described as being neither heaven nor hell nor reality. And one thing that I've said, I'll say it again. Well, I don't think these things in order to say them. I think them in order to enjoy thinking, which is what limbo would do to you, make you think. It's that the door to heaven or hell are two-way, but the door to limbo is one way. And it's important. It's like, because there's this concept of levels, where if you drop down a level, it's like going one step away from heaven and towards hell. But it's not so extreme that you can jump to conclusions about there being a difference. It's a subtle change, but we'll give it, mention by presuming that there was some kind of a vertical shift. And the idea is that when you're going further down, you're going closer to the meat, you're going closer to the dirt, and you're going closer to the necessity of movement. And then when you're rising, you're going towards free thought, you're going towards joy and nonchalance and power of thought, in the sense that thought causes action in a more fluid and chaotic way. It's not so much chaotic because it doesn't have to be chaotic. It's just a higher level of power over the actions that are needed. It's that need to act that is more subtle. And it's like a more verbal, more expressive experience. And it's two-way because you can go up and down, you know. It's like you earn a higher position through hard work and diligence, or you let go of the trappings of wealth in order to feel the ground again, to feel the earth, to feel life, you know, to feel the meaning of things. Because you spend too much time in heaven, you're going to risk being spoilt, and you're going to risk being a tyrant. So this two-way thing, but it's like limbo is like accidentally falling down a level but not changing. Or it's like climbing to heaven but forgetting to stop working. So it's like you're in heaven and you're still trying to do a tedious job, and you don't feel consequences for the job, but you don't know how to live otherwise. Or it's like making a evil move and not changing and remaining a stoic while you're back down in the gutter. And it's like that. That's like limbo, because it's like you got there. It's one way because you don't remember how you got there anymore. You don't really remember because maybe it wasn't really your choice changing the levels. So it's not you. It's something about the place you're in. It's something about your surroundings. It's something about the world that you've gone into, this limbo. It's just a layer of limbo. It's not even the whole thing is limbo. It's just some part of it is limbo. And you don't know how you got there. It's just you're waiting for something and you don't even know what you're waiting for. But necessarily, I mean, you couldn't describe it because you couldn't control it. It's not a power over it. You don't have power over when you leave it. It's just, and it could be denial as well. It could be denial that you refuse to accept that you put yourself there. Or it could be that it refuses to accept you. And you wind up in hell, but you're an angel and you're they don't get you, like they ask you, hey, you want to come into this back room, we got some stuff going on, and you're like, I don't understand, or whatever, and you don't go there, and you're just in the waiting room outside the pleasure palace or whatever. So it's limbo, and your move, and you're waiting for something to change, but you don't have faith anymore in the change. And it doesn't mean that it won't change. It's like you go into this game and you're able to build stuff, but you've calculated it, that there's no end to the building. So, I mean, you can only create the end for the building, but then what are you creating? You creating a door for yourself? A way out? Or what? And for who? Because if you leave through your door, the next person who goes in has a door out. It's no longer limbo. It's like, maybe it is, I wouldn't put too much emphasis on my powers of creating doors in a simulation that other people can automatically recognize as the way out. But, of course, all games give those things to the player, except these games that we play where it's like Limbo, where there's no obvious way out. It's like there's no obvious way out and there's no obvious way in, other than the fact that you put yourself there somehow in a one-way kind of way. Like the way you got in is one way. It's like time put you there. It's like it's like time put you there, but except time is the cop out. There must be something more cerebral that I can pinpoint in terms of the way into this thing that I've put myself in, right? It's not just time, because of course maybe it is. Okay. Maybe it is just time. But in that case, it's the fact that I probably missed a bus, that kind of thing. It's like where I missed a bus and I'm still at the bus stop and I'm waiting and it's limbo because I don't know if a bus is coming, and then I'm waiting so long I don't even know if I'm waiting for a bus. It's like I'm waiting for something, and I could be doing something as well while I'm waiting. Of course you could be, but the apocryphal limbo is the limbo in which you're waiting, and then the smaller versions of limbo that pervade reality are the ones where you're waiting, but you're also doing other things at the same time. It's just that little bit of waiting is also happening, and that means you're in limbo, in a sense. But the point is, there's a way in, and it's one way. So it's like you're Houdini, and you're going into a box of water with a chain around your hands, and you're like, I'm going in here, it's one way, how am I going to get out? And you're not going to get out by unlocking your hands. The way you get out is by having some kind of trick, or having some kind of surprise, or a back door, or a out of the box solution, basically. It's not a simple door, it's not a simple door that puts you in, because you don't come out the same way. And it's just a point of fact that when someone like Houdini traps himself like that, it's like, it also says that, trapping yourself is one way. It's a warning not to trap yourself because it has consequences. It's one way. It's not a healthy door, basically. Basically, Limbo isn't a healthy door. It doesn't seem like a healthy door, except the fact is that you are safe. In Limbo, it is safe. It's not that it's safe because things haven't changed that much. Is it an extra thing that you're putting on the world, or is it something that you're taking away from the world? That's the thing. Can you actually put something into the world that gives it eternal essence of, existence? Or are you just taking away something that limits eternity in you? Or are you just limiting the way you think? But then the thing is, go to heaven. Heaven isn't about limiting the way you think. It's about expanding it. Expanding it in such a way that you overcome the limitations that your groveling, languid body forces itself to deal with things. Usually it's an elevation of the spirit above those consequences, and it's not ignorance of the consequences either. It's just a sort of a detachment from them, and a functional detachment. It's like an understanding of the things that have to happen with the things that haven't happened yet, but But I wanted to just bring that back to Limbo, if it'll have me. But I think Limbo is also about waiting for something, you know. The thing about it is that there's the perceived exit, and then there's the exit that's actually found. And maybe the exit that's found isn't perceived. Maybe you don't perceive exiting Limbo. It just happens. Something happens, you stop waiting. If you stop waiting, naturally, without even noticing, then you leave Limbo. But to say that is sort of implying that that's the way out of Limbo, you see. And it's not, because it could be another way out of Limbo. You could be waiting for something and get the thing you're waiting. Or you could find something and realize that that's what you were waiting for. Or you could decide that that's what you were waiting for. Or you could be forced to accept that that's what you were waiting for. But is it something you do yourself, or is it something that actually happens outside of your choices? That's the thing. You don't know. You don't know. But that implies that knowing or discovering what you're waiting for gives you the way out of Limbo. And if that happens, I'm talking about first not knowing how to get out of Limbo. But then, of course, the point is, you're creating a definition in the first place of Limbo. So it's like, if you didn't do this, you wouldn't necessarily be looking for a way out of Limbo. The whole problem is that thinking that you're in Limbo makes you think that there has to be a way out. But there isn't a way out, which is bad, because it makes you feel bad. It's like, oh no, I'm in Limbo and there's no way out, right? That's the problem, right? The problem with Limbo existing in the first place is that nobody wants it, because nobody wants to be somewhere where they can't get out. So it's defined in a way that there is no reason to have a desire to leave it, because it's beyond your desires. This Limbo is about something that is eternal, something that you don't have a desire associated with. It's not like heaven or hell. You have a desire for heaven, but you have consequences of your actions. And in hell, you have only consequence, and your desire is only suffering. Whereas in heaven, your desire is immediate consequence. It's like your thoughts need only a tickle of desire before things happen. And then they satisfy themselves, or they satisfy the moment of thought. It's not like you have to work really hard, because it's like, for some reason, you don't have to work very hard in heaven, whatever. Yeah, because it's a higher position. If you use the analogy of energy, you have higher potential energy when you're in a higher place. So it's like, oh, that's heaven, man. That guy is in heaven. He's got loads of money. He lives on a very tall building with a car that's full of fuel, or whatever, or if it's not full of fuel, then he's doesn't have to drive, or whatever. It's like, it's this mindset where your desires are not associated too much with matters of huge action and huge indemnity to performative action. Whereas Limbo is this thing that, it's not so much that it creeps up on you, because it's like you really put yourself there. It's a really one-way thing. It's like it's like, well, I'm on a desert island now, and it's like the life you had before then it's still there in you, but you're waiting because it's not, you're not doing it. You're waiting possibly for everything that you had going on before you got to limbo. Maybe you're waiting for that, but in that case, it's not that simple, because before you were in limbo, everything you had movement. You were doing something. Some of the things you had were expectations about the future. And when you're in limbo, not having expectations about the future is having more, in a way, because now you're not waiting for that, so you're waiting for more. You're waiting for a more wild thing to happen, or a more unknown thing to happen. So in a sense, because it makes you wait, opens your horizons, but at the same time, because you're not doing anything, it relieves you of responsibility and, unfortunately, the feeling of power and control that comes with responsible action. Responsible action seems less practical, but you're waiting for it. You're waiting for everything, but you're not, because limbo doesn't exist. It's not that limbo doesn't exist, it's just that the apocryphal limbo, where it's just a void and there is nothing going on, and you're there waiting, and you're being stripped of all the corporeal existence. You're being stripped of everything that makes you a thing that relates to other things. It's like you are bereft of a way out of being you in limbo, in a way, and what you are matters, but you lose faith in it because you're waiting beyond what you are. It's like your histories and your futures. You're waiting another step beyond those things because you don't have a way out. You don't have an exit defined. It's not defined. It's not defined in terms of the things that you normally find associated with yourself in your past or in your future. And it's just a level of limbo. It's not like absolute limbo, But you can talk about absolute limbo as an epic place, as a legendary place, and place filled with cautions and mysticism, like where nothing happens, because it's hard to imagine a place where nothing happens, but it's easy to imagine a place where nothing happens too, And maybe if you've been in limbo, you know that, right? If you've never been to limbo, it's hard to imagine limbo. It's like a really important in-between space between all other spaces, I guess, where you don't have to do anything. That's very important. You only have to wait. Because if you had to do things, like if you were in limbo and you were thinking, I have to get somewhere else, that is not limbo. Because you know that getting somewhere else is the way out. You don't know the way out. You don't know whether you have to do something to leave or not. It could be that not doing something gets you out. So it's hard to get out of limbo, and maybe you don't get out yourself, like maybe it's like being in a prison cell and your whole life and you've never known anything else, and then somebody opens the door for you, but in that case you don't even know there's a door, because if you knew there was a door, you'd know that was the way out. But what you do know is that there is this thing that's shaped like a door, and it has a mysterious sense of being different to the walls around it, and so there is a question there, and you're sort of waiting for an answer. What is this thing? What is this thing? Later you find out it's a door, but it doesn't register as a door until you walk through it, And then when you walk through it, you could be walking into another limbo. So, riddle me that. But of course, all rooms, in a sense, are a limbo because all doors are, in a sense, one way. For the experience of walking through a door, it's a one-way thing. But then we know that doors are two-way. And then we know of a heaven and a hell. You see, the thing is, we know stories enough to conceptualize the concept of heaven or hell, but we also have a concept of a door being two-way. And maybe that's related to heaven and hell, you know? Maybe it's the idea that there is this other place and there is a door to it. And you can do certain things to get to this other place. Or you can, and then, but when you're there, you can do things to get out of it as well, you know? And you know that, and that's how you idea of a better place or a worse place. But with Limbo, it's different, you know? With Limbo, it's just a one-way door, right? It's a door that you don't know is a door, you know? It's like, you don't know what the exit is, really. And it's very interesting place to be. If you're there, which you could be. But the thing is, in folklore, Limbo, nobody's in Limbo. You know, it's very, very hard to pinpoint what this concept of Limbo is. It's like, okay, I think they said something like, you know, you could die, but instead of going to heaven or hell, you go to Limbo first, right? Which is weird, because it goes against everything I just said. Because, like, if you're going to heaven or hell, you know you're going to heaven or hell, and you find yourself in Limbo, where you're waiting for them to decide where you're going. Yeah, you don't know what the door out of Limbo is, because you don't know the way to heaven or hell. It's like not knowing the difference between sin or good action. It's just, yeah, it's like not knowing what to do. In spite of knowing or imagining the existence of heaven or hell, being in Limbo challenges your knowledge of the doors to heaven or hell. See, if you can't be in Limbo and heaven or Limbo and hell at the same time, you can't believe any of the doors you make as being the way out. No, you can't make yourself a door necessarily out of Limbo if you're waiting for it to be decided where you're going next. Can you? You see, it seems like another fun experiment just to break all those rules and decide, well, you're in Limbo, you can make a door. And you can decide yourself whether it's to hell or to heaven. I mean, what if Limbo is a place where you're asked to decide where you want to go? And you can't decide because it's one way. And you're afraid of one-way doors because one-way doors got to you to where you are now, right? Which makes sense, because that would create the impression of Limbo existing. Because Limbo exists where there is a one-way door, basically. And you've took it already. And you don't know a way out. It's something like that, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. Because doors are very civilized things, and, you know, you can take a door, whatever, you know. am I being judged now over, how I'm acting because I've decided to act in a particular way, and it seems one way, but it's not one way at all. I can change the way I act, right? I mean, the way I'm acting is like, it's not even for a person, It's, maybe you think that's grotesque, but like, I can talk like as if I'm talking to a person, but I can only be just like sort of imagining all these different people that I could be talking to, Like, I could be talking to the president, I could be talking to really bad people, I could be talking to anyone. Who do I think I'm talking to? Surely not people fluent in Swahili, because I'm speaking English, right? So, the English-speaking world, probably, Yeah, but then, like, is that bad? Should I be trying to speak to people from other languages? Maybe. The thought is occurring to me now, but it's already far too late to suddenly speak a different language. Like, that's the one-way door I've taken, And another one-way door I've taken is to make expressions in front of a phone, But it's too late, I know it's too late to go back and to do something differently because I've already done things. But does that mean I'm here? Am I here? In this place where I've taken a singular path. Like, the question of whether or not I'm in limbo now is, it's a good question. But it's another sense I could be in hell because I'm forcing myself to speak. Or I could be in heaven because I have freedom over what I'm saying. But I don't recognize heaven or hell as being a way out of where I am, because I don't see a way of having the freedom of expression without expressing. And the expressing is, a force that I'm invested in, which limits my freedom in a way, but it also creates a freedom too. So it's like, it's both heaven and hell working together, as usual, probably. Most things in life are like that, I'd say. It's probably leaning more towards the heaven side because I'm talking, I'm not doing anything, right? If I was just doing things, like if I was just going to the shop to get the cigarettes, just getting the box of matches so that I can keep smoking, that'd be sort of like more towards hell, which is why I don't want to do it. I don't want to go to the shop and buy a packet of cigarettes. Well, I can't anyway because it's like 1:30 in the morning. It's like 20 to 2 in the morning and the shop's closed, so there's no point in doing that. So it's like consequence of normality that I forbid myself to have to deal with things in a terrible way. But it's also, I don't have the experience of smoking a cigarette, which is kind of heavenly in a lot of ways, even if it's just because it incurs a certain form of expression that is a bit more brazen and a bit more free. Doesn't really care. But it's 1:45 in the morning and most people are asleep and I'm talking to myself. No, I'm not talking to myself. I'm trying to do a video, guys. Come on. I wonder if just making YouTube videos is as simple as just watching other people make YouTube videos and then just doing the same thing. Just creating a society around a phone and just embracing it and going ahead with it. Or if it's like this like really complicated thing where you're using all the knowledge you have of what you think other people think, which shouldn't be dismissed so readily because you do have a lot of knowledge of different people, and what they think actually matters, at least to them. And a good person recognizes and respects that other people have thoughts. So they'd recognize that what other people think matters. So, saying, don't care about what other people think, man, it's kind of meaningless because, caring about what other people think actually leads you to moral choices, even if they're not all visible choices. But because they're thoughts, right? Because it's just what people think, it's not what people do. So it's like, you care about what people think, but you can't see it. Why would you be able to see why would you be able to see somebody caring what other people think? As a thing that they're doing, like, it's about thought. So, it's a heavenly thing. It's heavenly, really, to think about what other people think. But to act based on what you think other people think is like a bit too much, because it's like, well, let them act based on those things, right? So it's like, just think about what other people think. Don't do loads of stuff because you think you know what other people think. Thinking you know what other people think would be like implying that you've decided to limit your thoughts about it, because when you know something, you're not confused or angsty or doubtful about it. But of course, that's a kind of limbo as well. It's kind of limbo thinking. Drinking. No. You should not be drinking so much. Yeah, and you can probably see all the social anxiety. You probably get a lot of this social anxiety. But who am I talking? Oh, yeah, that's right. Who am I talking to? Right? I could be talking to the president. I could be talking to my son. I could be talking to someone who speaks a different language, but just wants to listen to somebody talking like this. Or I could be talking to the worst person in the world. Right? That's the truth, man. That's the fucking truth. It's like, you just don't know, You could be talking to no one. There's no one there. It doesn't matter. That's why I'm drunk, because I don't care about who's listening in the future to the thing that it becomes when it is a thing. And even though I don't even know the consequences, like the mystical consequences of people watching a video, and then at the same time you're living your life and you're on the video as well, and it's like, well, and it's never really you. No matter how much information is stored in the 4K video, there's still just not enough information to actually define a human being, a living human being. There could be so much information about any moment that they live, but it wouldn't be enough information to actually define the person as, like, individually. Okay, so there's like 10 billion people in the world, and when you compare all the people in the world to the thing with the impression of one particular individual, that is unique identification, which can suggest that the person is in the video, but actually the person isn't in the video, because there's still too much information needed. Well, I don't even know if it's a finite amount of information that's needed in order to encapsulate an actual unique individual person. All the atoms in the person's body aren't visible. You can only see the skin, so it's like, you don't know what's going on in my head, technically. So it's like, you don't have the full capacity to actually pinpoint a single human being. Even if you know their address, like their heartbeat and all of this stuff, you still fuck off, you don't know a person, like, fully. So, like I did, I know me, So the point is, there you go. The point. What's the point? What's the point? Oh no, what's the point? The point is that I'm a narcissist. I mean, I'm just making a video of myself talking in the camera, and I love it. I just love it. I love looking at myself. I love thinking about myself. And I also kind of wonder. I wonder at the freedom that comes with just not stopping myself from being myself due to economic considerations of the value of the product, of the thing that I'm making here. Even though I think I'm adding to it by being drunk and by being social, acting social, whatever it is I think I'm doing. I describe myself as a sort of a proxy for other people deciding what I am. Like, if I decide it first, then I win, because I'm making the judgment, not you, right? But actually, to be honest, like, with 10 billion people in the world, somebody else has probably got everybody else is better judgment, because everybody else is judging the thing, right? I mean, the thing that they're judging is easier to judge than a person, because it's finite and it's got a limited amount of information, and the information isn't even a whole person, so that somebody can just be like, oh, I want to blow that up. I'm gonna cut and paste that guy into my fiery hellscape, and then I'm going to send my little dominions to shoot a barrage of fireballs at him until he explodes. Somebody can do that with their media skills or whatever, and like, that's obviously like morally acceptable, because it's a thing that is created, not a person, right? I'm not creating a person necessarily here in the video. I may someday, but like, that's a different story, and it's not really one person's job, it's two people's job. So it's not like my responsibility to defend the thing that I'm creating as a thing that cannot be destroyed by a person without moral consequences, because it is just a thing at the end of the day. But saying I'm a thing, then somebody else is going to listen to it and be like, well, man, my phone is telling me that it's a person. What? I can't destroy my phone. No, you can't destroy your phone. It's only a shadow of me that's on the phone. You can destroy the phone if you want. Like, nobody will be harmed necessarily, unless you don't know how to destroy a phone without accidentally causing pain for some reason, which you need to work on that situation yourself. The point, if I can just remember what I was thinking, is that I was talking about Limbo, wasn't I? I was talking about Limbo. Limbo, you don't know the way out. Well, I know the way out of this video, and I'm going to just stop the video after one whole hour, because that's the way I like to do things. But also, maybe I don't even have the battery. No, I have 67%. I can keep this going over 2 hours. But will I, though? Will I? Oh, okay, no, it doesn't even exist as an expression unless I'm talking to somebody. If I'm just talking to myself waffling, you're just going to see somebody waffling. It's like, that guy's crazy, Well, maybe I am crazy. Maybe I deserve to be crazy. Maybe there's enough things out there that are crazy that you have to be even more crazy in order to dismiss them, so that you can be yourself. And I'm not even being myself, because I'm being someone else, actually. I'm like playing a game of being what I appear to be. That's what I'm doing. It's not even, it's all sound as well. It's not even visual. Like, nothing's happening. So like, all the consciousness is going into the expression of words, and it's like, it's not even all me, and it's not even all social, because it's like, maybe I'd be better off just being quiet and thinking, and like being constructive with the way society works, and like, maybe I should be thinking about how other people look, and like, I know that the world isn't made up of just people I've seen on YouTube. It's like made up of everyone, and yeah, I fucking knew that when I was 18 years of age, leaving home without a care, traveling the world. Like, but I know it less now. Now I've got these faces that I'm used to, and I've got these personalities that I think I know, and all the people who I don't know, like I could be talking to them, but I'm giving so much of my own bullshit away. It's like, this is the way that I seem to be, like, consequent oriented. I'm like all consequence here. Like, like the way I am. It's just like, this is the way I am. This is what happens when you drink wine, right? I mean, when you drink wine, you are who you are. Without apology. It's like, that's who you are. Whatever. Just be who you are. There's not enough time to go through it all. You just have to be who you are and do what you do. Or do you? Maybe I'm going too far. Maybe there are some people who drink a little bit and then they're just like able to just like coexist with every single thing without force, without desire, without movement. They're just like everything is all one, and yeah, you're like, oh, a tree fell in Germany, and I could save money if I adopted a long-term insurance policy. Oh, I smell a hint of lemon. Like, maybe you could be really observant and not do anything, but because I'm making a video, that's part of the reason why I'm talking non-stop. And I think it's more fun this way as well, because, like, I mean, it doesn't mean that anybody else is listening either. You could have this going on in the background, and then you could have ads coming in non-stop, and you could have like loud music, and then you could have your mom coming in asking you to eat fruit. You could have World War III going on in the background, and like, it wouldn't change what I say, and that would be weird. I mean, it would be very weird if nothing happened on your end in 1 hour. I mean, you have thoughts, and your thoughts, you're not even talking back to the video because I'm not listening. I can't be in two places at once, man. I can't make a video and be with you at the same time. And if I am, you're not talking back to the video, you're talking to me. So, like, maybe I'm in the room with you and you're watching me on the video. Then it's like, I'm after saying that you're watching me, and who am I? I can't just pretend to be in the video fully, because I'm out here. I'm never in the video. The video is just a shadow. So, like, I'm only pretending that I exist in the video, which I don't. I don't exist in the video at all. And if I would decide that, then it would have to be some kind of sacred thing, like, it's all sacred. I have to, on first principles, decide that this is a splitting of my essence into a thing. But how often do I split my essence into things, man? Like, I mean, is the phone the pioneer in people putting themselves into things? I don't think so. People put themselves into the things they create, into the things that they make happen, into the, I wouldn't go too far into the ideological aspect of things, because that's going to be really slowing me down, It's going to really slow me up. So, just wait for a second. I'm going to get a match and smoke half a cigarette. Now, when I used to... Okay, I got it. I got the cigarette. Match. I got the match. All right. This is it. This is the last cigarette I have. It's my last cigarette. Okay. I'm more excited about this than I ever was about weed, which is against all logic, because weed actually makes a difference. And this is all... It's all show or something. Maybe it's this sense of creating a show that is turning me into this hound for consumption. Yeah, or maybe it's like oh, I could be smoking weed. This could be a joint. You don't know because you don't know anything. Oh, but that's terrible, isn't it? To just presume that the listener doesn't know anything or that the listener is a fool. Who do I think I'm talking to? But if I actually think I'm talking to someone like the president or my teachers or someone who I respect or know close in my life, then actually, sorry. And also sorry that I don't talk to you in real life this way. But to be fair, it's a thing, and the thing can talk to anyone, and that's crazy, and that's why people get excited over media, and that's why the people want to be stars, and they want to make great things. Wait, what? They want to make great things. What am I shouldn't even be smoking, but I know that I've talked so much that it's okay. It's actually healthy to smoke if you've been talking non-stop for 40 minutes, isn't it? Let's be fair. It so is. It's smoking without talking that's bad for you. The more you talk, the more you're sort of aware of your own body and your own, especially your vocal cords and your esophagus and your whole airway in and out. You're very conscious of it. And having the odd smoke just it invites you to be more conscious of the gas that comes in and out of your mouth. When you've been talking, okay, if you've not been talking, you don't want a cigarette. You just, you're not talking. What the hell? You know how hard it is to watch a video of somebody else talking and to actually talk over that? I always find that very difficult. And maybe I'm presuming that other people are actually just listening, but nobody's listening this much. Nobody is listening to this whole video. It's just insane. What kind of a creature are you to listen to the whole video? You must be a god. Or you must have a very sick mind and very evil plans. In which case, you better stay the hell away from me. I have gods. I'll call the gods on you. You won't get 2 feet inside this house. Well, I pull the trigger. And then I'm going to go snap, snap, snap. And I knock you out. Knock you out on the street. You'll be rolling around the street like a French hen. Oh yeah, man, this is winning. Oh, my life is really gone to shit. But at these moments, I am free. I'm free. And someday I'm going to be a bum on the street. I don't care. No, I scratch that. Well, it doesn't matter because somebody else can just cut that out and just put it as evidence that I actually want to be a bum on the street. Well, that's the end of that, man. That's the end of that. That was fun. Yeah, the last one, the last cigarette. I've been going to the gym. That's why I feel so good. I haven't just been sitting on my own meditating. I've been going to the gym. I've been working on the game. I've been trying to read. I've been accepting new visitors. I have 2 new lodgers. I have one lodger that has been here for a long time, and I don't know if she actually likes, stay here or she prefers to be somewhere else, but because she goes somewhere else a lot. But I have a new visitor here for at least a week. And I'm very excited about that. And that's just one thing that's going on. But another thing that's really bad is that my dad's in hospital. And he's not that well, so I have to go. And it's I'm trying to feel good about life. And I'm trying to do something about me. And my life is going in this weird antisocial sort of way that's to do with making things in the media. And it's probably the fucking devil that's doing all of it. So it's like his fault, you know. But like at the same time, it's important to live. And I believe that by living, you reach out into ways that you can possibly help others by acknowledging the ways of being, you know. But actually, the truth is that the only reason I'm able to be happy right now is because I'm going to the gym. That's what I believe in any case, you know. I believe certain things. I've probably gone downhill a lot to get here, but at the same time, I'm going to the gym a lot. I'm trying to be a ninja, man. I want to be a ninja. I'm probably going against loads of religions, and loads of religions are probably going to beat me up. But it doesn't make a difference because I'm happy now, and I'm making a happy movement now, and I'm joyful now, and that's, you know, that's why I think goes on, but it doesn't really go on. It's not eternal. I'll probably suffer when I'm trying to compress this video, and then I'm going to try to upload the video or whatever I do. And then I'll get 0 views, and then I'll be like, oh man, what am I saying? Will I watch the same video that I'm in? And then when I watch the same video that has me in it, I'm going to be like, oh man, is that me? What an asshole. How come he's not thinking about the future? What has he done? Can't go back. No going back. Once it's there forever. Somebody could download it and store it in their hard drive and just keep it forever, you know? I mean, that's the truth, right? The truth is somebody could just take your video once it's uploaded. If it reaches anyone, it reaches anyone. So anyone can have it, you know? The president or otherwise. You know? It'd be kind of crazy if only the president saved the video. I took it down, and then they just kept it. Like, that'd be kind of mad, actually. It'd be really mad. It'd be so crazy if the president took down this video and just kept it for themselves. Because just to think about the concept of a president with my video. And this is how, am I a narcissist now? You know, man, am I a narcissist because I'm trying to do something crazy? My capacity to control my body to create sounds that, in fact, have social impetus. And I know it has. Well, if I just dismiss the social impetus, that would be that would have consequences for the way I act in future, because everything I do affects my overarching knowledge of my past experiences, and it's build up of my past experiences sometimes that I believe makes me who I am. So it's like that affects who I am, and if I dismiss being social while still expressing myself through my vocal cords, which is usually used towards expressing things to other people, if I dismiss that, then it could be a compounding effect into the future in which I'm trying to communicate with other people, and then I have this part of my life that I dismissed the necessity to be social with my expressions, showing up in conversation which would affect various aspects of who I perceive myself to be and who other people perceive me to be, which, you know, could be just catastrophic from my subjective experience of being alive point of view. It's like, you know, I think I'm alive. Whoop-de-doo, I think I'm alive. I think I'm alive. So, do you think you're alive? Leave a comment. Leave a comment. Describe. Express. No, look, do you want a quick sudden maths lesson? No, because if I tried to do anything that wasn't just me talking to myself, drinking, it would be seen as pretentious. I have to actually be sober and conscious and make an effort to plan ahead, because if I actually project that I'm doing something meaningful. No, if I'm doing something useful, that could create expectations, and I would only let you down. But I've been learning a little bit of mathematics, and I've been very happy with it. But if I was to start talking about mathematics, I know it's like I think there's like 10% of the people in the world think that mathematics is evil, and if somebody mentions mathematics, they just immediately start yawning and wishing they were somewhere else. And it's like, okay, I get that, I understand, because like when I learn mathematics, I'd rather learn it from a place of peace and self-control, and you don't always have that, especially if you're listening to somebody who's like you're not familiar with, and if you have questions about something else. How do I know you have questions about the thing that I'm trying to tell you? And that's the only way to learn mathematics is I don't want to impart the force of limitation upon the listener as of this moment in time, so to speak. Looks like we're nearly at the end of the bottle. So, is there anything you want to talk about? Yeah. Tell you what to do. It's like, who am I talking to is the question. Who am I talking to? I know there's loads of different people out there, man. It's like, what can I do for you? And the answer is not to decide who you are. It's not to decide, I know you enough that I know what you need to do. But sometimes people hit the mark. I've seen other people who've been on YouTube videos, they're pretty helpful. It's a bit hit and miss, though. It's a bit hit and miss. Sometimes you could be right, and sometimes you could be wrong. You could be like, do what you need to do, but you could be talking to the fucking worst person in the world, man. How do you know they should do what they need to do? For fuck's sake. You ever read a history book? You just presume that certain types of people don't watch your videos, but how do you know? Anyone can watch your videos, and it might be a good thing that anybody watches your videos. Do you make a video? I know. Look, I'm not even gonna go there, man. I'm not even gonna fucking go there, because that's not life. Life isn't about changing who you are, whatever. Jesus Christ, man. I could be attacked tomorrow on the street for uploading this video. Oh, for fuck's sake. But I'm just thinking, most of the time, if I was to describe who I am, most of the time I'm trying to fucking hell. Most of the time, this isn't who I am. Who I am is I'm talking. So, God, what am I doing in the mind? What is the effect of... No, I don't even want to fucking ask that question, man. What is the effect in other people's minds right now that I'm talking? It's what do I want to know? Do I want to know that there is an effect? And how? In one person or in many people? How the fuck will I know what many people think about what I'm doing? But it's still a question that somehow appears. Probably because maybe in our ancestral sort of DNA, we previously only had these experiences when shamans were in their tents communing with the gods or the spirits. And they were and then that way they were talking to everyone in the world, because they weren't using language. They were using spirit. So it was they were really thinking about expression. And also, why would I limit myself to communicating only between the record button and the stop button on a phone? like, couldn't I not feel like doing things or communicating, or, you know, communicating in all the ways that matter with everybody or anybody through anything or everything? Like, walking down the street, could I not feel like I'm connected with people in China or in India or Australia? Like, do I have to be using a phone recording it? But like, I believe that there is something that is like a consequence of having a thing that makes it possible. But then that's like also like a lower level of existence. Like, a higher level of existence would denounce the necessity of having that limitation of recording and a stop on a thing that you have to face and that you have to sort of communicate to, through, whatever. So you could just feel like you're existing. But then it obviously doesn't seem as much fun as talking to a thing like the way I'm doing now, because it feels like what I'm doing now looks like fun, is fun, man. Or at least it feels easy to pretend like it's fun. It probably isn't fun. You know, maybe it isn't. Maybe it's madness. Maybe it's all just digging a hole for myself, you know, going to limbo. Let's pick up that limbo conversation again while we're here, you know. Am I in limbo? Maybe. You know, I'm starting to feel like this video is going to come to an end soon. You know, we both knew that this would be the case. You know, it is the nature of these things that an end must come because of whatever, like, economical restrictions are necessitated by the use of a digital device. So we have to just presume that there is an exit. But what if there wasn't an exit? You know, what if just life forever was just listening to me talk about nothing? And that's okay. And you don't know what the exit is. What if you are in limbo? Then your guess is as good as mine. You know, like, just like the Coldplay song said, you know, your guess is as good as mine. Yeah, man, fucking music is great. I love Coldplay. I love Gwen Stefani. I love Guns N' Roses. I love Smash. Smash? That one was like, where it's like, somebody once told me the world was gonna owe me. I ain't the smartest tool in the shed. Dun, dun. Looking kinda glum with a finger and a thumb in the shape of an L on a forehead. Dun, dun. Oh, the beats start coming and they won't stop coming. Instead, don't you live for fun? Your head gets smart, but your brain gets dumb. So much to do, so much to see, so much more with making the black street. Alright, it's a great song. I wish I could do a better job, but I can't stop smiling because I can't believe the incongruity of suddenly breaking the song. It's like, it's not something I'm but then, you see, the question is, who am I talking to? And it's everyone, right? And if it's everyone, then you might as well just fucking go all in. But then, the thing is, it's like, do I deserve that? You know? And also, like, would I rather not fuck with people? I mean, you're there, like, the videos, come on, like, they're like, you know, they're like, you know, like, this is, you know, you have the video buttons and you can press them. So, like, it's a bit of crack. Yeah, it's a bit of crack. Okay. But, like, you're on a platform, right? You're on a platform. And are you pulling the strings? Are you balancing with everybody else? Or do you think you can knock people off your platform? Do you think you're on the platform to give it direction? Or do you think that somebody's going to try and reach you through it? Or do you think that it's just a matter of wasting time, wasting somebody else's time, and facing the normality of this infrastructure that we have built over many years of limited commitment to the creations of creators who produce these wonderfully varied works of expressions, but housed or encapsulated within the account base methodology of a liquidated mass of observers. You think you're really capable of producing a spirit of continuity, of expectation? Or are you just one of those know-it-alls who suggest commitment? Yeah, that's the good stuff. What the hell is this, man? This is Chateau Bordeaux de le Chateau. Chateau du fromage avec la France. I can't stress enough how limited my advertisement has been. But it is a good game. It is a good game. Check it out. So that is the end of the video. And I'll leave you to it because I'm going crazy, and I haven't gone crazy in a long time. And I know it has to come to an end because I have to go to bed because it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm looking at my watch and it's like really late, man. And I only walked 457 steps today. And normally I walk 20,000 or 30,000 steps because I'm really looking forward to improving my health. That's what I'm doing. That's why I'm able to do anything. Because I'm really, really invested in myself. But most of the time, I'm missing the old plans of fitting into society, which everyone must do. So,